When asked the question, Samantha, tell us a little bit about yourself, I pause, I smile, and then I think to myself, I shouldn't even be here, yet here I am. I'm living, I'm breathing, and I am here. And when life tried to write me off, my faith and my mother's unwavering voice whispering, all things are possible, wrote my story right back in. And even with this resilience, the world only ever saw one side of me. And that one side wore a mask. In the playground, in the workplace, even as a mother to my 7 beautiful children. They call me Superwoman. But what they don't see is the mask I've been wearing all along. Now, I have a question for you. Yes, all of you. Have you ever worn a mask? Oh, quite a lot of yous. Now, what kind of mask are you hiding behind? Maybe it's the mask of competency or the mask of humor. Maybe it's the mask of, I'm fine. When deep down, you know you're not. Behind all of these masks, there's a woman, a person who is tired of performing and wants to be unmasked, unapologetic, and free. My mask first started forming when I was a child. I was born a twin to a resilient single mother of Caribbean, Jamaican heritage. We survived poverty, trauma, and the bitter winter, rainy months in Manchester. Moss Side was my first playground, and I remember the smell of jerk chicken, fried dumpling, from the corner shop Arvinos. And I remember the rhythm of the steel pans from Mr. Yankee at school. And I remember the Caribbean carnival that brings the community together. By 11, everything shifted for me. I went from a lively city primary school where I was one of many black children to a more affluent high school where I was one of few. And then came questions. Where are you from? Like, really from, like, Africa, innit, though, star? 12-year-old me still did not understand why my sense of belonging was still being questioned. I'm from Manchester. This mask continued to follow me. 14 years old, I was pot washing and minding cars on Manchester City football match days. I could even charge more if they won. Now, anyone who knows Manchester City back in those days will know that didn't happen much. Now, you might think that was hardship, but for me, that was a lesson in resourcefulness and resilience. Lessons that I brought into every boardroom and into every office. Because at 16, I landed and secured my first corporate role in a top FTSE 100 company, fueled by my faith and my mother's unwavering voice whispering, all things are possible. I was a black girl, ambitious, but in a world that rarely saw someone that looked like me. So I had to navigate racism, sexism, microaggression, and bullying while I climbed the whitewashed corporate ladder with the constant reminder I was not a fit. Now, my race was very visible, but my neurodiversity, even my faith in God, that was a complexity that few could see. And in the world, very quick to judge, she can't possibly have this job. She can't possibly have this promotion. 75% of black women experience racism at work. 75%. And they're twice as likely to be passed over for promotion. I didn't need that data back then. I lived it. Every day, I hid behind my invisible mask, smiling when I wanted to cry, nodding when I disagreed, pretending to belong. But this hiding wasn't passive. It was strategic, a way to navigate spaces that were never designed for someone that looked like me. This mask continued to follow me everywhere, into every corridor, into every office, into every conversation. I remember a new senior white male leader wanting to connect with his new team members. For one, who just happened to be wearing pills that day, he started to talk about Wimbledon. Imagine this, strawberries on the terrace and tennis in the summer. Another, who was a student, he started to speak about festivals. My connection, for me, prison. Prison. Because he thought that was our common denominator. So I smiled, mask firmly in place, all while thinking, this is not how I define myself. Black women are often judged in minutes, expected to be strong, resilient, forgiving, but never falter, never cry, never rest. And in the meantime, we learn to hide parts of ourselves that would make others uncomfortable. But then there was Clive. Clive was another white senior leader, but he always spotted the underdog. He made it his mission to champion those overlooked. He saw beyond the mask. He saw talent. He saw me. He spoke my name in rooms I wasn't even in. One ally can change a career. Be someone's Clive, the one that opened the doors, not the one that closes them. Now, I need to remind you that yes, allies are amazing and they do make a difference. They open the doors, but we have to be the ones to walk through those doors. You need to have faith, determination, and resilience to propel you forward. And I did. I rose, rising in the ranks of HR, chairing the CIPD, winning multiple business awards, becoming a best-selling author. I stand here today as a CEO who smashes through glass ceilings. I build inclusive leaders and courageous culture. But even with all these achievements and the accolades, I still wore a mask, the one they called Superwoman. And yes, for a while, I wore that mask with pride. But what they didn't see was the tears behind the smile, the exhaustion behind the deadlines, the silence behind the strength. I chased perfection, trying to be this perfect superwoman. And what I learned was this: perfection isn't protection. That is the prison. Masks don't protect you. They silence you until you cannot breathe. But today, I choose to breathe. Because what if the power wasn't in being perfect, but in being real? What if we showed the world our cracks and our courage all at the same time? True freedom isn't in perfection, it's in permission. I stand here today as a mother of 7 children, 3 future kings, 4 future queens, and I am raising a new generation. I no longer live in survival. I am building and creating legacy. So the true power is in authenticity. So if I unmask, I teach my children that they don't need to grow and hide too. And I also teach them that silence does not mean strength. So their joy, their resilience, it fuels me. Every mask I remove and every lesson I learn, I now pass on to them. So we do not need more perfect superwomen. We need real women, real people, unmasked, unapologetic, and free. Because if we, our children, yours, mine, we show up as the real us, we don't need no invisible masks. We don't need no diluted identities. We need us. So I have a challenge for you all. The first thing is, I want to ask you that question again. Have you worn a mask? And what mask are you hiding behind? Now, are you brave enough to take it off? This is the challenge. Leaders, be someone's Clive. Look beyond the mask. Break the patterns of bias before it breaks talent. Colleagues, question the stereotypes and the biases you hold. Don't reach for the easy connection. Reach for the real one. Create the safe spaces for others to hide so that they don't feel like they have to anymore. And everyone, identify the mask you're wearing and take one brave step to remove it. Because removing the mask is not just freeing yourself, it's freeing the generation behind you. Because when you do, all things are possible. Thank you. Thank you.